We are back, I think.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
How are you doing, C-Zone?
I'm doing pretty fine. I'm talking to some people in my chat. And yes,
Chat is
guys,
awesome.
I am putting all your requests in my playlist. It might get on there at some point.
If anybody wants to know the techno, just head over to afterhours.com. Search for After Hours FM. It's just an online trance station. So we're into bans and picks. exHCL removing Anivia from the game. You could almost rename Anivia to Froggen because it's just such a beast with it. And immediately replied by Udia. So once again, CLG removing Udia from the banning pool, or from the game.
Oh, I'm actually got an admin here that's yelling at me to use K-pop.
Well, you can play whatever you want on your stream. There will never be K-pop on my stream.
Why not?
No, no, no. It's rubbish. It sounds terrible. The adverts make you feel like a very dirty person. So no, I will pass. Thank you very much. Not my thing. So
there's another Jax and a Cookmore ban. I'm talking to some people here. Okay, so I don't know who the green cheers charge is, but he's not getting on my friend list. And Cookmore as well. So Cookmore was doing really well last game. Or was that the game before that? It was the game before that.
yes.
And they are very afraid of Yellow Pete's Kog'Maw for obviously reasons. And just Kog'Maw in general is not fun to play against. Jax is one of those champions that's considered OP. And classical CLG.EU, they always ban Urgot if they're not first pick. They really hate that champion if he's not on their team.
In the previous game as well, there was a couple of clutch wishes coming out from exHCL, which, drew the team fights out just those couple of extra seconds, and it allowed exHCL to actually pick up a few more kills and win some more, pick up more momentum in those team fights. So I like the ban, and I want to see who they're going to first pick now. Are they going to go with that safe sort of support or jungle lock-in, which is what we're tending to see these days, or completely forget that both Shen and Morgana are available? So are we going to see Froggen picking Morgana?
He might well do that. Morgana is a very strong pick, but I'm not sure about Froggen's Morgana.
Well, this time round, Nocturne is available as well. I think he was banned in the previous game. We didn't see him featured. Maokai and Nautilus. Whether or not Snoopy's going to go for another round this time as Maokai. Maybe even playing Nautilus. Well, there we go. I thought it was going to be Nocturne. Well, I'll get this. It should be locked in first. Because, there we go. Nocturne and Ari. So Froggen is going to have the nine-tailed fox this time around. And that's going to be an awesome spectacle to watch.
I'm sure it will be, because he is a very good Ari. Ari gets banned a lot against him. And people are asking if they can cyber with me. No, you cannot.
Are you using this stream to pick up a date, C-Zone?
No, they're trying to pick me up.
So just to let everybody know as well, the first game of Moscow 5 versus Fnatic did go the way of Moscow 5. They have in fact started game number 2, and that's happening live on stream number 1 right now. So just head over there, throw that up if you really want to. Keep an eye on it. We, however, please lock in Ezreal. Please, please, please lock in Ezreal. My first love affair with the champion was with Ezreal. I mained him AP in the middle or AD on the bottom lane for such a long time. And I love watching that champion play.
I hate playing against him though, because he's jumpy.
Yep, that's...
Like, seriously, I hate every single jumpy champion. Fizz is...
That arcane shift is just so powerful and so frustrating, especially if he actually sticks with the flash. The flash arcane shift, it's immense. It's so difficult to catch somebody and lock them down. Wicked is hovering over Aurelia. So maybe we're going to see Wicked feature the champion he's most famous for.
I hope so, because his Aurelia is one of the most fun things to watch, in my opinion. I'm interested to see what Yellow Pete is going to pick up. So they have Shen on one side and Nocturne on the other. So they're both... Well, Shen obviously is actually global, and Nocturne is almost global. It's like, I think it's one half of the river. around that, his ultimate.
Yep.
Actually, if he stands in the middle of one of the two river halves, he can get to mid or top. That's basically what it is. But so they kind of countered that that global all over the map with that for a tiny bit, but it's not really gonna completely counter it. The rest of their team is Grace, Ari, and Aurelia. Both, all of them, those 4 champions are pretty mobile champions. They all have a good gap closer. And on the other side, we have Shen, Asriel, Tarek, and Cassiopeia. So they've got a Nautilus as well now. So that's going to be a Shen top most likely, unless they play Nautilus top, which you can do. Both those champions can go top or jungle, but I'm assuming that it's going to be Nautilus in the jungle and Shen on the top.
And I wonder if we're going to see
so
another
Shen
Leona.
versus Aurelia. I'm pretty sure that Shen, sorry for my French, but shits on Aurelia. So that's going to be an interesting matchup.
It's going to come down to the ganks as well, because if Snoopy is able to camp the top lane like he did do, a couple of games ago, and put some pressure down when Wicked was playing Aurelia, that might be pretty important, pretty impressive, or it'll swing the lane in favor of Aurelia. But I like the fact, I was thinking we might see a Leona on this bot lane. The Leona Graves combo's got great burst, so much crowd control, and it would have been enough to lock an ezreal down. But an Alistar is just as effective. If he's able to land the headbutt pulverize combo, it should give enough time for Crepo to get the buckshot collateral damage out and blow that little miner dude up.
As it will be. So, what was the last pick? Alistar.
Yes, Alistar was the last side. It'll be a support Alistar. In the middle lane, we are going to see Mr. Gregor playing Cassiopeia, coming up against Froggen's Ari. And that's huge kill potential for both champions. If the Petrifying Gaze lands, the Fox is going to get killed. If a Charm lands, the Fox is going to eat the snake. So one way or the other, there's a huge kill potential. You've also got very, very strong ganks that can come out. Paranoia in conjunction with the Spirit Rush combination means that they're going to be able to dive onto Mr. Gregor, and the movement abilities makes it difficult to land a Petrifying Gaze effectively. On the flip side, a Depth Charge is going to be able to knock Ari up and potentially hold her in place for a good Petrifying Gaze. So I like the picks, I like the lanes. Top lane is going to come down to ganks. Middle lane, it's going to be up to the champions. And bottom lane, again, I think champions as well. Tarek Ezreal, not the greatest burst, and the sustain from Alistar is better than the sustain from Tarek.
One thing that I'm really looking forward to is the bot lane. I think, okay, so it's either going to be very passive because they're scouting off each other, or it's going to be a super aggressive, kills every 2 seconds. That'd be so cool. Because like Alistar and Tarek both can go really aggressive, so that might work out. And they're both Asriel and Graves have a jumpy ability, or at least a gap closer. So that could be very interesting. Someone on my chat is saying that Mr. Gregor is actually Saliver, and lead random is Puki style. So we might want to watch out for that.
Puki style from Dota 2.
No, Puki style.
It might. If it's the Dota 2 player, then it explains a lot as to why exHCL are as good as they are. But we'll confirm that. We are into the last minute and a half, guys, so it does mean one quick advert break. So Teriyaki, Suzuki, I hope you enjoy these. We'll be back with exHCL versus CLG shortly. So adverts are running.
I'm not sure if someone turned the ads on my side.
I have no idea.
It for the sake of it. Okay, it's working now. Good.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a small delay. So double check local recording. I've done the cut on stream, and for everybody that has an ad blocker, we're sorry about the small delay, but we do need to throw those ads up from time to time.
Yes. If you are using ad blocker, you are unethical. Because we are working for you guys, and it'd be awesome if you could actually support us with that. If you really are bothered by the ads, you could just turn the stream on twice in different browsers, ad block on one, watch that, and leave the ads on the other. It's kind of cheating, but
Yeah, I think
it works out.
technically it's illegal to ask people to do that. So
I'm not asking them.
I would
I'm saying they could do that.
Yeah,
I'll stop doing that now.
I would suggest not saying it anymore.
Okay.
Well, we've got an ad break going, so
That's an outbreak growing anyway, so no one heard it.
great.
So we've got health regen, physical damage, magic resist, and armor on wicked. I think that's the only page he's using today. Yeah. He's only got 3 pages. Only got 1 page. Oh, wow. 9:14:7. That's interesting.
So, game is loading up. I'm going to do my best not to click on anything and make it go down to the weird corner like it does sometimes. And then
I totally clicked on something, but...
Yeah. It's the bugs, compliments of the Adobe Air client, which Riot Games have decided to code their entire game in.
Oh, this is not good. Ooh, watch clean of that.
There we go. So, skins at the moment. Everybody is skinned up. So, I accept Tarek. Nope. Super Ace letting the side down, dude.
Why not pink skin? I mean, it's kind of girly, but so awesome.
No, not cool. I'm not a fan.
Like him.
I'm not a fan.
Well, to be honest, Grappa doesn't have a skin either.
Yes, technically true, because everybody got the Unchained Alistair for being part of the YouTube channel, if I remember correctly.
I'm serious here. I have seen less normal Alistair skins than like the Unchained ones in the past few months. So I don't think that's a skin, to be honest. So it's 4 versus 4.
Well,
and I like the Abyssal Nautilus.
This is the one you were talking... No, this isn't the diver one, is it?
I don't think so, no.
It might be. No, it's the miner one that's bright yellow. And he's got the giant miner's drill as opposed to the anchor, if I remember correctly. So overlays are up. We now have CLG on that side, but scores are the opposite way around. So exHCL are wearing the blue trunks in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side, CLG are wearing the red trunks. For anybody that doesn't know, this is game number 2 in the upper bracket best of 3. This is the Medion challenge, of course. Teams are playing for 1,000 euros and 5 laptops. We're about to get game number 2 underway. exHCL have already defeated CLG once. C-Zone, do you think they can do it again?
I think they can, but they haven't won yet, definitely. I mean, unless Snoopy disconnects again, which they are saying is screwing them over a lot, I think they were still pretty much in the game. They just threw it a few times with some slightly worse team fights. And but I still think that either team could take this, to be honest. If CLG.eu does win this game, they will have to play a third game, and that will be the last game that we will cast for today. And tomorrow, I'm not sure if we are casting that or Matsus is doing it and we're doing the Fnatic play. I'm entirely unsure about that. So you will hear that. You will hear about that later, guys. And for now, we'll focus on this game. I'm wondering, actually. Let's take a look. It looks like Crepo did not go for the gold masteries, and Super Ace did, so he's gonna have a slight gold advantage. And Crepo and Yellow Pete actually going for the enemy golems, checking if they're doing that. That could have been a kill if Super Ace and what was it, Pookie Style were actually doing that.
Could have
been. Apparently your numbers are wrong on your overlay. Just saying.
Nope. exHCL 1, CLG 0.
That's strange.
So it is up. It is
that
running. So for everybody that is asking, C-Zone, you are Dutch, unless I'm mistaken.
Yes, I am.
Sorry, Dutch.
So I picked up my accent from the internet.
You picked up your accent from the internet. Do you talk to the internet often?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a pretty nice guy, though he can be kind of trollish at times.
So we do have the Dazzle coming out already very early on, just to prevent any further damage from Yellow Pete. And I'm nervous about this bottom lane. Tariq Ezreal is not the biggest DPS lane, and the sustain is less than Alistair's, so
Is it less than Alistair's though?
Yes, definitely. Alistair's cooldown on his heal is significantly shorter. 11 seconds, it heals 60 in an AoE. and it gets reduced with each basic attack. Now, Tarek does have similar, and he also gets the mana back.
He's got the same heal, actually.
But it's
only the
single
scaling is
target.
different,
Yeah.
so it's actually twice as much heal on CLG's side. So you're completely correct.
So, it's slightly more effective. The fact that it's AoE and that it affects both Crepo and Yellow Pete, it just makes it a little bit more useful. A lot of people underestimate the sustain that Alistair does actually have in lane. And it also makes life a bit difficult for Elite Random to pick up those last hits. Because of the fact that, Crepo's going to be able to toss out that Triumphant Roar, give the creep 60 extra hit points, and all of a sudden, you miss the last hit, you miss a creep. It's fun to troll enemy carries when you do that.
Yes, it is. So, as I was saying, bot lane is actually pretty aggressive. We saw the huge damage going out earlier, and I'm hoping that they keep going very aggressive, because those lanes are the most fun to watch. Up top is probably going to be a farm fest, because neither of them is going to be able to do a lot of damage to each other, because Shen doesn't do a lot of damage, and Aurelia can't do much damage on Shen, respectively. So that might be a slightly boring lane to watch. Mid could be very interesting as well, so those bot and mid are going to be the ones I'm looking mostly for. Snoopy is moving into top for a ninja gank, as some people will call it. And he's going to move through the brush and move up. I'm not sure if he got spotted there, I'm pretty sure he didn't. And actually Kikis is very far out, is going to get stunned. Fear is gonna proc at the edge, and that is going to be a dead kick, his first blood for Snoopy. And that was a great gank there. I think the red buff proc actually picked that up there. Was at the edge of his fear range as well. The flash didn't really save Kikis there. That was really well done by CLG, and Snoopy is going to be pushing the tower while Wicked already goes back, because Wicked has to get back into lane as fast as possible not to lose XP, and the jungle camps can actually wait. So that's why Snoopy is taking the tower down and not Wicked, for the people that are wondering that.
And so unlucky for that fear proc. It managed to catch him right at the edge of his, right at the max range, and it tossed him right back into the enemy champions. Not to the left, the right, or down, right backwards. Said, no, you shall not pass, you shall not collect, go home or collect $200.
Someone's actually raising a valid point here, called pre-rack, something like that. Tarek also heals himself. So, and he heals for more than Alistair does on himself. So, it might be a slightly bigger sustain. Tarek does also reduce his cooldown with his auto attacks, which he should be doing as a support. But that's a valid point as well. Kikis and Wicked juking it out at the moment at top. Wicked going very aggressive.
Keep in mind that the only benefit that comes from Tarek is if he uses it on himself and it becomes more powerful. Alistair's is always AoE no matter what. So
true,
mathematically,
but, Alistair or Tarek's heals himself for 60, and Alistair's heals himself.
Yeah, but
for,
again,
30.
Okay, well, we're mathematically, let's have a look.
And there's going to be a fight in mid. Ultimates used by both Frogan and Mr. Graggle, but no deaths. Ignite was used by Frogan
and Flash used by Mr. Graggle. Yeah.
So Summoner for Summoner.
Summoner spell for Summoner, but aggressive Summoner for defensive Summoner. And Ari not only has the 3 jumps with her Spirit Rush, with Flash as well. If Mr. Graggle gets low enough, should be able to push forward for a kill.
At the moment, it's mostly going to be some farming going on. Frogan is way too low health to do anything, and Graggle is not very low mana, by the way. I said low health, I meant low mana. Graggle isn't at high mana either, and he was at pretty low health, but he's higher health, so he is harassing. His mana is now out, though, so there's going to be very little rest for now. And that's so Wicked going in with doing too much.
Oh, no, I like having a look at the different ways the players level up their champions. At the minute, Frogan 2 points into Orb of Deception, 2 points into that Foxfire rather, Spirit Rush and Foxfire. And Elite Random on the bottom, 2 points Mystic Shock, 2 points into Essence Flux. So opting not to go for the offensive power of that Mystic Shot. And Frogan just waiting a little bit longer. The blue buff going to Snoopy, compliments of that barbed armor. And that is a big mistake.
Ooh,
Cassiopeia, although saying that, Veggie's taken the blue buff as well. So
okay.
Veggie and Snoopy stealing the blue buffs from their mids, and that is amazing.
that was interesting. Because we were talking about both champions being boom all the time and they both don't get the blue. Now obviously Snoop Ace was a mistake, but Veggie just went, oh, I'm gonna take this blue. Well, he is Nautilus, so he does need the blue early. I'm not sure if he needs a second blue though, to be honest. And they are going for the enemy blue CUG is right now. But they're gonna discover it's not here, and there was a ward over here in the brush, so they were spotted. Wicked actually chases Kikis all the way to the inner tower, which is very interesting.
Pretending to be singed for a short period of time. But of course, having that blue buff away on Ari is less damaging than not having the blue buff on Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia really needs that mana regen to continue spamming those Noxian Blasts and the Twin Fangs, because if she cannot keep casting those abilities, spamming them over and over and over, her DPS, or the burst damage she can put out, drops tremendously. And of course, the cooldown reduction, that really helps her out a lot. See that she has finished the Sorcerer's Shoes and picked up that single Doran's Ring. So at least that's a little bit of mana regen, a little bit of ability power. But the blue buff is really what was required. 1,300 gold lead already at the moment on behalf of CLG. And there's obviously compliments of...
There's going to be a gank up top, and Wicked is going to be focused by Kikus and Veggie right here. He is going to possibly get away though. Kikus wanted to go for the dive, but Veggie did not. And they did retreat. Ultimate was used by Veggie, and they were not able to pick up this kill. Even though they did use pretty much everything they had on there. Really well done by Wicked using his ultimate to stay alive. And actually in the mid right now, Mr. Graggle is going to get picked up. Froggen really close to death. The Ignite is not going to pick him up, but there comes Veggie, and Veggie is going to... Wait, that was a great charm, but it's going to get away. No, he is not. In the meantime, they're also going for Kickers at top, and we're going to have to replay that because I missed half of that.
Jump backwards. I managed to jump up there just as Snoopy picked up the killing blow. What was there? 2v1. Using the paranoia just to dive all the way forward onto Shed. While all that's going on, let me know when you've caught that back up to real time.
I missed it on the second go as well, but...
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
I'm not going to rewind again.
There was some pressure on the bottom lane. Managed to get a buckshot off, point-blank buckshot into Elite Random's face. And it dealt decent damage considering that it's a double Doran's Blade. But not enough to commit for the collateral damage any further for the kill.
So, right now, looking at the items, we're going to see that, wow. Okay, so Kickers went for Cage's lucky pick and the Heart of Gold. He's going to have quite a bit of gold per 10. But the Cage's lucky pick is very interesting because you don't usually see that on Shen's. I do it, but I'm addicted to gold, so don't mind me. My favorite champion is triple gold per 10 Gangplank.
Well, if you follow, it looks like a 55-60% AP ratio on his Vorpal Blade. It also increases the shield on his Feint, the damage on Shadow Dash, and the shield on Stand United. So every single one of his abilities scale off that ability power. And of course the GP10 is super, super powerful.
Yes, it is, but it's just that you don't usually see it. He might be going for Death Argos, so I doubt that. Or maybe Relative Soap. Get some healing reduction in there. He's probably going to sell it at some point, which makes it cost effective at 10 minutes.
Huge engagement down in this bottom lane at the moment. CLG have a 5-man for the first dragon. Really trying to take some map control. They do manage to pick it up. The depth charge goes out. Or at least I heard the animation. I didn't see who had knocked up. The first kill is in fact going to be Nautilus. Now from behind, Mr. Gregel's coming in. Should be able to pick up a kill on the escaping Yellow Pete. Is the poison going to tick it down? Maybe just enough to survive. Wicked's the next one to fall. Dragon 2-for-2 exchange so far. But all of the assists.
Dragon for 2v2. That was definitely worth it. Yellow Pete getting away with like 30 HP. But definitely worth it for COG. They are going to be ahead around 2.1k. And the small advantages, it's not that much of an advantage, but the small things are gonna stack up, and at some point they're gonna be 10k ahead and having more items if they do not make mistakes or get DCs, obviously.
I didn't actually see whether or not Mr. Gregel's ultimate had actually stunned anybody that time round, but the first time he died to Froggen in the middle, he casted the Petrifying Glaze, and all it did was stun Ari because the character was about 45 degrees aimed to the left. Slowed Ari, rather. So had it actually stunned her, locked her up in that stone prison, it wouldn't have been able to pick up a kill under the tower. So if Mr. Gregor can land some good petrifying gazes once we hit these team fights, it's going to counteract a lot of the CC that Alistair can put down. And you combine that AoE with the AoE from Nautilus and the Shadow Dash taunt from Shen, and you've got a lot of lockdown on the CLG side.
Yeah, that might be a very big problem for them actually. But to be honest, both teams have very mobile champions. The only one that doesn't actually have a way to move is gonna be Cassiopeia. And her Q still gives her movement speed, so she can be very mobile as well if she hits that. So everyone is mobile, and if they get CC'd, they might be able to get away, or at least get in a safe position before they get CC'd.
Yeah, that's a good, very good point.
It's gonna be interesting to see all that CC come into play.
Sorry about the quick interruption. 7-4 in terms of kills right now for Fnatic versus Moscow 5. They are slightly ahead. And I just got a message on Skype saying I have to say that on stream. So just letting everyone know.
Okay, that's all good. One thing I noticed in the last team fight, which I didn't mention yet, is that Grappa had a... Oh, actually, it's going to be a ultimate from Nautilus going on to Wicked Sun as well. And they're as well. Nupe is holding in though, and they're going to turn around, going for Kikis. Fear does proc, and Wicked is going to possibly pick it up. He does pick it up at the max of his range of his E. And Slipper wanted to dodge magic, but they are not going to because Wicked said no. In the meantime, Froggy getting chased down by Mr. Graggle. Mr. Graggle almost getting him down. And no, he's not quite down. No reaction from Wicked and Snoopy for some reason, which was weird.
The Duskbringer does land onto Mr. Gregor with the red buff and the poison, the shield coming up from Snoopy. Mr. Gregor just stuck around a little longer than he should have. And a little bit unlucky, but nicely played by CLG. They're setting themselves up to potentially, you know, get a strong mid-game. 7-3 up in kills, 3,000 gold. They picked up the first dragon. And just for everybody to know, the reason I didn't do a rewind for that 2v2 battle earlier, early on in the game, the action back and forth is very, very fast-paced. So we don't really have the time to go back, and it was a trade 2-for-2. It wasn't as huge a fight as it actually looked for a little bit. So we tend to do the replays later on in the game. Makes life a little bit easier to manage.
Yeah,
you don't miss anything.
We can fast forward after that because most people are dead, and it takes them 30 seconds to come back.
Exactly.
So Wicked is going for Yoni with Lucidity, which is interesting. He wants the cooldown reduction apparently, and he seems to be going for a Trinity Force again. He's got a Mana Crystal, or a Sapphire Crystal, and a Phage, so that looks very much like a Trinity Force.
I'd like to see what ezreal is building at the moment. He's finished that Brutalizer, he's picked up a Phage as well. Currently with the Null Magic Mantle and that Cloth Armor, so it could be Ninja Tabi, it could be Merc Treads with either of those base level, base level defensive stats. And
we're going to be picking up the top tower right now.
So first tower of the game is going to go to CLG, opting not to actually apply that last hit, and the reason for that is very simple. If you would let the tower kill more creeps, it denies experience and it denies gold from opposing team and opposing champions. So always remember that. Take every single advantage that you can.
So in the middle, just some farm going on. Looked like some arrest, but wasn't actually there. And Cassiopeia is actually not going for a Will the Ancients, which is kind of interesting. You usually see I usually see Cassiopeia's going for that first, but he is going for the Rhylites immediately, which is a very viable build as well. And remember, giving that extra slow on all of your spells instead of just the one.
And remember as well that the Will of the Ancients about 2 patches ago received a rework. Now costs, there's a Blasting Wand increased in there, so the overall cost of the item is slightly higher. And a lot of the champions that tended to build it immediately are slowly going away from it. Vladimir's, Kennon's, Rumbles in certain cases as well, starting to turn the itemization away from that super early Wota.
Yeah, I actually really like what Riot was doing there because AP carries practically had 3 routes to go. They could either go Rod of Ages, Revenants, or Wota first, and then usually Revenants after that if they hadn't built it yet. And now there's Athene's Unholy Grail, Morella's Evil Tome is actually viable now. It is so much more diverse, which is, in my opinion, a really good idea. I think they achieved what they wanted.
And we do have both teams setting up now for Dragon. CLG have started, they're putting decent damage onto it. Froggen gets caught by a Dredge Line, uses the first charm of Spirit Rush. A great charm now, followed up by the second Spirit Rush. Graves picks up the first kill onto Shen, actually. Nautilus is the next one to fall. And CLG, after being caught, you know, Froggen was captured by that anchor, immediately turned it around and picked up a great, 2 kills for CLG and Dragon.
So right now, Suji is going for that blue again, and that fight, basically, yeah, I don't know, I couldn't even see what happened. Everyone just died so quickly, and Wicked got away with like 50 HP, which was pretty awesome for him. Health regen runes probably actually saved him, to be honest, which is something to notice. He's one of the few people that actually use health regen runes on a professional level, because he really likes regen. And I think that's safe, to be honest. There's a fight going on in the mid. Sullivan, apparently, is going for Froggen, but wasn't chasing it too far. Froggen did easily get away from there. And blue getting picked up by Sullivan right now as well. And yeah, just at the moment, everyone's being a bit boring. They're all farming up, getting their islands ready, waiting for the next opportunity to strike, which will be a dragon or possibly a baron. They might even go for a push at some point, but right now everyone's just farming and getting items.
I do want to remind everybody as well. Now we have only got the one tower down, so neither team is really roaming just yet. And in the previous game, we've seen exHCL fall behind in the laning phase and pick it back up in the team fight stage. Whether or not you want to argue that was because of the disconnect from Snoopy or, there were extenuating circumstances, the fact remains that it was a 50-minute game, and what a great juke there from the Charm, completely whiffing the Petrifying Gaze, unfortunately. The taunt comes out from Kika, so that means Froggen's going to be locked down for a little bit. First tick of Spirit Rush will ignite and Poison, be able to pick up that kill. Paranoia gets used by Snoopy, he dives into the fight. Yellow Pete now should be able to pick up a kill onto Kickers. That shield of his did manage to keep him alive for a small period of time. And only death, well, no deaths for CLG actually, and 2 kills for their team. But yeah, really unlucky. Mr. Gregor just missing that Petrifying Gaze as Froggen dashed to the right. And whether or not exHCL are going to be able to pick up these team fights when they're 8,000 gold behind is going to determine whether or not they win this game or we go to game number 3.
Yeah, and if we do go to game 3, I'll be able to make that. I was kind of scared I wouldn't be able to make that, but I will be able to, and I'm kind of looking forward to the third game, to be honest. I wouldn't mind either way. At the moment, CLG is ahead, but as you said earlier, wow, Veg is actually going to go down. Hey, why did he stand still?
I think that could have been the fear. It could have just been Veggie going, you know what, I am dead, I'm going to die. So
let's just stand still.
Yeah,
he, like just
hand off his mouse, grab a drink of the beer, and now look at this. Mr. Gregor gets caught. Pulverized headbutt combo. Froggen dashes forward to that Spirit Rush as well. At least it looked like a Spirit Rush.
So that's 30 seconds on Sullivan and 10 seconds on Veggie. This means that they will be able to push for at least one tower. Unfortunately, CLG is not grouped up, so they will not actually be able to do that. And that was a slightly random ultimate. Oh, it was for the red. And actually, there was a surrender.
Surrender vote from exHCL. Not willing to draw this out, committing, you know what, we've lost this game. We will come back and potentially win game number 3. So well played to CLG.
I didn't expect that one.
No, nor did I.
Oh, actually,
nor did I.
They want to postpone the last match.
Is that so?
That is very strange.
Well, we are going to chat to the teams. We're going to chat to the admins very, very shortly, guys. I'm going to throw up a very quick advert break, and when we're back, we should have a little bit more information for you, so stay with us. All right, adverts are running, so would you like to find out what is potting?
Yes, because they have TGS. What's TGS? TGS.
It is another tournament, so
yeah.
I don't know.
I got that far, but
Yeah, I've got it on my. It's on the gaming calendar. The gaming series, according to Con. Something posted on Reddit. So, going to see very, very quickly if we are going to be able to postpone this third round, or if it does need to get played. Everybody that is still on the stream, C-Zone is busy chatting to everybody. I'm going to do another very quick promotion. This is, of course, the Medion challenge, guys. 1,000 euros on the line, 5 laptops up for grabs. Ooh, let's move that over right there. We, of course, are covering CLG versus exHCL. If you guys are having some fun and you enjoy my casting style, head over to facebook.com/quickshot, QU1KSH0T. Throw me some likes, and it really helps me out, keeps me doing this. And C-Zone, when your Facebook is up and running, we'll link you on the page and make sure everybody knows what's happening.
I'll go set it up right now. I'll use my douchebag photo.
That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it.
It's a horrible picture. Like seriously, I've got sunglasses on and sunglasses in my shirt as well. It's so cool. Okay, let's see if I can actually find my page.
All right. Are you in touch with any with either Bass or is any of the other admins looking into this situation?
I'm looking in the team chat right now.
Right.
Prepo is asking, and the admin said it's their choice, and it looks like it's going to be played today.
Okay, so is it now or?
I don't know.
All right, great. So we are busy finding out. Wait, I have got an invite from Scumbag Crepo. Everybody's in the game, so it looks as though game is going live. Great, great, great. So this is game number 3, guys. Winner of this will, of course, go through to round number 3 in the upper bracket. Loser of this just dropped to the lower bracket. And for the interim, I'm going to mute my mic, put some music on in the background. And when we're back, hopefully game number 3 will be running. So, C-Zone, we'll see you in a second.
Yes, we see you in second 2.